Bishlach, when he let go. Exodus chapter 13, verse 17. Now when Pharaoh had let the people go, God carried them not by the way of the Philistines' country, though it were nearer. For God said, lest the people repent when they see war, and turn again to Egypt. But God made the people to go about the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea. And the children of Israel went up armed out of the land of Egypt. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had made the children of Israel swear, saying, God will surely visit you, and ye shall take my bones away hence with you. So they took their journey from Succoth, and encamped in Etham, in the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud, to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire, to give them light, that they might go both by day and by night. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. Exodus chapter 14. Then the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, that they return and camp before Pi-hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal-zephon. About it shall ye camp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say to the children of Israel, They are tangled in the land, the wilderness hath shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after you. So I will get me honor unto Pharaoh, and upon all his host. The Egyptians also shall know that I am the Lord. And they did so. Then it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people. And they said, Why have we done this, and have let the children of Israel go out of our service? And he made ready his chariots, and took his people with him, and took 600 chosen chariots, and all the chariots of Egypt, and captains over every one of them. For the Lord had hardened the heart of Pharaoh king of Egypt, and he followed after the children of Israel. But the children of Israel went out with an high hand, and the Egyptians pursued after them, and all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, and his horsemen, and his host, overtook them camping by the sea, besides Pi-hahiroth, before Baal-zephon. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lift up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid. Wherefore the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord. And they said unto Moses, Hast thou brought us to die in the wilderness, because there were no graves in Egypt? Wherefore hast thou served us thus, to carry us out of Egypt? Did not we tell thee this thing in Egypt, saying, Let us be in rest, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians, than that we should die in the wilderness. And Moses said to the people, Fear ye not, stand still, and behold the salvation of the Lord, which he will show you this day. For the Egyptians, whom ye have seen this day, ye shall never see them again. The Lord shall fight for you. Therefore hold your peace. And the Lord said unto Moses, Wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel, that they may go forward. And lift thou up thy rod, and stretch out thine hand upon the sea, and divide it. And let the children of Israel go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. And I, behold, I will harden the heart of the Egyptians, that they may follow them. And I will get me honor upon Pharaoh, and upon all his host, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. Then the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the angel of God, which went before the host of Israel, removed and went behind them. Also the pillar of the cloud went from before them, and stood behind them, and came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of the Israel. It was both a cloud and darkness, yet gave it light by night, so that all the night long the one came not at the other. And Moses stretched forth his hand upon the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to run back by a strong east wind all the night, and made the sea dry land, for the waters were divided. Then the children of Israel went through the midst of the sea, upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left hand. And the Egyptians pursued and went after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. Now in the morning watch, when the Lord looked unto the host of the Egyptians out of the fiery and cloudy pillar, he struck the host of the Egyptians with fear, for he took off their chariot wheels, and they drove them with much ado, so that the Egyptians every one said, I will flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians. Then the Lord said to Moses, Stretch thine hand upon the sea, that the waters may return upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen. Then Moses stretched forth his hand upon the sea, and the sea returned to his force early in the morning, and the Egyptians fled against it. But the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. So the water returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen, even all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not one of them. But the children of Israel walked upon dry land through the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. Thus the Lord saved Israel that same day out of the hands of the Egyptians. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the sea bank, and Israel saw the mighty power which the Lord showed upon the Egyptians. So the people feared the Lord, and believed the Lord, and his servant Moses. Exodus chapter 15. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord, and said in this manner, I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and him that rode upon him hath he overthrown in the sea. The Lord is my strength and my praise, and he is become my salvation. He is my God, and I will prepare him a tabernacle. He is my father's God, and I will exalt him. The Lord is a man of war. His name is Jehovah. Pharaoh's chariots and his host hath cast into the sea. His chosen captains also were drowned in the Red Sea. The depths have covered them, they sank to the bottom as a stone. Thy right hand, O Lord, is glorious in power. Thy right hand, O Lord, hath bruised the enemy. And in thy great glory thou hast overthrown them that rose against thee. Thou sentest forth thy wrath, which consumed them as the stubble, and by the blast of thy nostrils the water was gathered. The floods stood still as an heap, the depths congealed together in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake them, I will divide the spoil. My lust shall be satisfied upon them. I will draw my sword, mine hand shall destroy them. Thou blewest with the wind, the sea covered them. They sank as lead in the mighty waters. Who is like thee, O Lord, among the gods? Who is like thee, so glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? Thou stretchest out thy hand, the earth swallowed them. Thou wilt by thy mercy carry this people, which thou deliverest. Thou wilt bring them in thy strength unto thine holy habitation. The people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall come upon the inhabitants of Philistia. Then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed, and trembling shall come upon the great men of Moab. All the inhabitants of Canaan shall wax faint-hearted. Fear and dread shall fall upon them, because of the greatness of thine arm. They shall be still as stone, till thy people pass, O Lord, till this people pass which thou hast purchased. Thou shalt bring them in, and plant them in the mountain of thine inheritance, which is the place that thou hast prepared, O Lord, for to dwell in, even the sanctuary, O Lord, which thine hands shall establish. The Lord shall reign forever and ever. For Pharaoh's horses went with his chariots and horsemen into the sea, and the Lord brought the waters of the sea upon them. But the children of Israel went on dry land in the midst of the sea. And Miriam the prophetess, sister of Aaron, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women came out after her with timbrels and dances. And Miriam answered the men, Sing ye unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he overthrown in the sea. Then Moses brought Israel from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness, and found no waters. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink of the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore the name of the place was called Marah. Then the people murmured against Moses, saying, What shall we drink? And he cried unto the Lord, and the Lord showed him a tree, which when he cast into the waters were sweet. There he made them an ordinance and a law, and there he proved them, and said, If thou wilt diligently hearken, O Israel, unto the voice of the Lord thy God, and wilt do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear unto his commandments, and keep all his ordinances, then will I put none of these diseases upon thee, which I brought upon the Egyptians, for I am the Lord that healeth thee. And they came to Elim, where were 12 fountains of water, and 70 palm trees, and they camped there by the waters. Exodus chapter 16. Afterward all the congregation of the children of Israel departed from Elim, and came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, the 15th day of the 2nd month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron in the wilderness. For the children of Israel said to them, O that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, when we ate bread our bellies full. For ye have brought us out into this wilderness, to kill this whole company with famine. Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will cause bread to rain from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather that is sufficient for every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. But the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring home, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. Then Moses and Aaron said unto the children of Israel, At even ye shall know that the Lord brought you out of the land of Egypt, and in the morning ye shall see the glory of the Lord, for he hath heard your grungings against the Lord. And what are we that you have murmured against us? Again Moses said, At even shall the Lord give you flesh to eat, and in the morning your fill of bread. For the Lord hath heard your murmurings, which ye murmur against him. For what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord. And Moses said to Aaron, Say unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, Draw near before the Lord, for he hath heard your murmurings. Now as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in a cloud. For the Lord had spoken unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Tell them therefore, and say, At even ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am the Lord your God. And so at even the quails came, and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay round about the host. And when the dew that was fallen was ascended, behold, a small round thing was upon the face of the wilderness, small as the hoary frost upon the earth. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, It is manna, for they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, This is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat. This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, an omer for a man according to the number of your persons. Every man shall take for them which are in his tent. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, some less. And when they did measure it with an omer, he that had gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. So every man gathered according to his eating. Moses then said unto them, Let no man reserve thereof till morning. Notwithstanding they obeyed not Moses, but some of them reserved of it till morning. And it was full of worms, and stank. Therefore Moses was angry with them. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. For when the heat of the sun came, it was melted. And the 6th day they gathered twice so much bread, 2 omers for one man. Then all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. And he answered them, This is that which the Lord had said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that today which ye will bake, and seed that which ye will seed, and all that remaineth lay it up to be kept till the morning for you. And they laid it up till morning, as Moses bade, and it stank not, neither was there any worm therein. Then Moses said, Eat that today, for today is the Sabbath unto the Lord. Today ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days shall ye gather it, but on the 7th day is a Sabbath. In it there shall none be. Notwithstanding, there went out some of the people in the 7th day for to gather, but they found none. And the Lord said unto Moses, How long will ye refuse to keep my commandments and my laws? Behold, how the Lord hath given you the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you the 6th day bread for 2 days. Tarry therefore every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place the 7th day. So the people rested the 7th day. And the house of Israel called the name of it manna. And it was like to coriander seed, but white. And the taste of it was like unto wafers made with honey. And Moses said, This is that which the Lord hath commanded. Fill an omer of it, to keep it for your posterity, that ye may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you out of the land of Egypt. Moses also said to Aaron, Take a pot and put in full omer of manna therein, and set it before the Lord, to be kept for your posterity. As the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony, to be kept. And the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years, until they came into a land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came to the borders of the land of Canaan. The omer is the 10th part of the ephah. Exodus chapter 17. And all the congregation of the children of Israel departed from the wilderness of Zin by the journeys at the commandment of the Lord, and camped in Rephidim, where was no water for the people to drink. Wherefore the people contended with Moses, and said, Give us water, that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, Why contend ye with me? Wherefore do ye tempt the Lord? So the people thirsted there for water, and the people murmured against Moses, and said, Wherefore hast thou brought us up out of Egypt, to kill us, and our children, and our cattle, with thirst? And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, What shall I do with this people? For they be almost ready to stone me. And the Lord answered Moses, Go before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel, and thy rod wherewith thou smotest the river, take in thy hand, and go. Behold, I will stand there before thee upon the rock of Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and the water shall come out of it, that the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. And he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, because of the contention of the children of Israel, and because they had tempted the Lord, saying, Is the Lord among us or no? Then came Amalek, and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said to Joshua, Choose us out men, and go and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill, with the rod of God in my hand. So Joshua did as Moses bade, and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And when Moses held up his hand, Israel prevailed. But when he let his hand down, Amalek prevailed. Now Moses' hands were heavy. Therefore they took a stone, and put it under him, and he sat upon it. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on the one side, and the other on the other side. So his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And the Lord said to Moses, Write this for a remembrance in the book, and rehearse it, to Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. Also he said, The Lord hath sworn that he will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.